All right, folks, thank you guys so much for clicking. We're going to dive right into this. What the heck is POTS replacement? What are POTS? Why do they need replacing? How does this impact your business? Are you required to do this? Is it going to cost you a fortune? We're going to answer all those questions. Yes, I'm also going to provide a solution, but I think what you'll see at the end of this is that this is a good thing really for everyone. It's going to save you money pretty much immediately, and it's going to future-proof your business. There's a lot of positive things, so have some positive vibes. Let's get into this together, and we'll understand it. All right, let's go. So what is POTS? We're talking these POTS, folks, not these POTS. Plain old telephone service. This is the same braided wiring infrastructure that I think dates back to Alexander Graham Bell. Like seriously, this is an analog phone from 1885. So when you hear words in telecom like legacy, copper, analog, that's the type of stuff we're talking about here. It's really old. Fast forward, it's 2020. Things have progressed a little bit from a technology standpoint. And around 2008, the FCC started to outline a plan to just phase everything POTS or analog out. And it's inefficient. It costs a fortune to maintain that old infrastructure. It's time to just move on, okay? 36 million POTS lines still exist out there in the US, which is a crazy number. It's about the population of the state of California. So you're not alone if you haven't transitioned yet, but there is now a drop dead date, if you will. The FCC is calling by August 2nd of 2022 that all POTS lines are suspended and upgraded to digital technology. Now, post COVID-19, and as we sit recording this, as I'm recording this, we're still in the middle of that. And I feel like when things open back up and we get back into the office, that date is going to come very, very quickly. So it's time to start getting a little prepared for that. Here's the crazy thing though, and y'all are probably going to think this little leprechaun looking man is trying to get something over on me. But the reality is the solution is cheaper than the problem right now, like as we sit. So that may sound too good to be true, but let me explain. You can be upgraded off of POTS at no upfront cost on equipment in a way that's going to slash your monthly bill that you're already paying. And the reason why that is, I mentioned 36 million lines still exist out there, but that number used to be a lot higher. And as things progress here, these telco companies, they're losing more of these copper line subscriptions. Companies are switching over to VoIP or going digital in some way or the other. So there's this massive infrastructure out there that they still have to support, and it's extremely expensive. So the only way they're going to make their money and to be able to maintain that type of stuff is they're going to hike the prices up on you. That's really their only option. So the average cost right now has gone up to like $65 per line per month nationwide on POTS lines. In some states, we've seen as high as 140. So they're trying to make up for the lines they're losing, and you're the one that has to foot the bill. Now, if you're thinking that your organization has already taken care of this because you've moved over to VoIP for your office telecom system, you likely still have some POTS lines in your telco room because the life safety critical stuff, the fire alarms, burglar alarms, elevator panels, stuff like that, they were very hesitant to move anything off of analog because they wanted a more steady, reliable connection. And it kind of makes sense. If you're in a life safety situation and you're relying on the internet to make sure you have connectivity options, that can be a little dicey, and you don't want to be in that situation. So this is why the transition makes sense now, because the technology has advanced. There are now ways to cover those life safety lines in an extremely secure and compliant manner. The cost of POTS lines continues to soar, and the time is now. Now, Full disclosure, my friends, I am going to try to sell you something now. And before you go clicking off the screen, please understand in my 15 years of being in this business, I've never been given an opportunity to pitch something that just makes this much sense for the customer based on regulations are coming. It saves you money immediately. There's no upfront cost, and there's just a whole lot of reasons why this makes so much sense. So just bear with me and let me tell you about this product. So finally, I can divulge what I've been hinting towards this entire time, which is the perfect solution for all of this. It is called the Epik Box, and this magic box enters your telco room, stakes claim over all of the ancient stuff in there, your elevator lines, fire alarms, security alarms, call boxes, gate controls, point of sale systems, faxes. They can all universally be moved right into this one beautiful cubic beacon of modernness. Modernist? Is that a word? It utilizes the best network on earth, Verizon Wireless, of course, to provide something called POLTE, POTS over LTE, which is a fancy acronym for it operates on cellular data networks to provide you a truly compliant and efficient solution. Since I mentioned compliance, I am going to have to dive into a little bit of the mumbo jumbo acronym jargon here, because all POTS replacement solutions are not built the same, and it's very important that you understand the differences. Remember that regulations didn't really want you relying on a simple internet connection to power something like your fire panels or something like that. So the National Fire Performance Association, or the NFPA, actually wrote requirements stating that communication providers on life safety lines must operate the physical network facilities end-to-end on site, right there where they're utilized. Basically, they didn't want stuff bouncing all around the cloud. If it's critical stuff, they wanted it residing on site with a central office. They even dubbed a term for that, MFVN, Managed Facilities Voice Network, and they stated the following, only voice services provided by MFVN are allowed under the code. Guess which cellular POTS replacement solution has MFVN, whereas we have yet to find another that actually does? How is that possible with other solutions out there that we're the only one that really has that capability? Our engineers are better? I mean, there is technology within the Epik Box that the competition simply doesn't have in regards to that MFVN for a POTS replacement solution. And we think it's very important. So I had to bore you with a lot of that industry mumbo jumbo, but again, I see it as something that you really need to be aware of when you go to make your decision. All right, to reel you back in, let's start talking about some money, right? So what is this magical box gonna cost me? And it breaks down pretty simply. If it's a standard POTS line, and depending on the length of your contract, it can be as low as $24.95. If it's a life safety line, it can be as low as $39.95. Now, you may want to pull out your bill and take a look at what you're paying now. And it's more. Now, the cool thing is, if you have larger deployments, large scale, multi-city, multi-site, we can negotiate. There is some room on those monthly rates if you have a sizable opportunity. So don't let price stop you. All of that is up for discussion. The other thing to keep in mind is the hardware is completely free. It's just baked into that monthly cost. It's kind of like your cable box, right? You pay the subscription, you get that equipment with it. That's just part of it. If you are worried that this is going to be some massive undertaking, it's going to create a mess at your facility and it's going to take a bunch of your resources, look, my role in this at CSG, I wouldn't be on board if that was the case. That's one of the things that drew us to this product so much, is that it's pre-configured. We have a couple phone calls with you. We learn your infrastructure, figure out exactly how we need to customize this box for you. We configure it at our facility, that we then ship it out to you really can be installed very easily. And then once it's installed, there's a web portal that we can go in and make any changes or anything necessary whatsoever. So moving forward, you have support from us. We're able to remote in and take care of anything that needs to be done. So guys, based on all that spiel, this thing is ready to rock and roll for anybody. Enterprise level, this was built for enterprise, but it works great for SMB. It saves you money really no matter where you fall in the category segment list. And it's ready to do everything that I've just advertised to you. But there's a couple extra things that I wanted to mention before I let you go. Number one, it also has a failover business continuity aspect to it, right? So I'm sure that's, those are buzzwords that I'm sure you've heard a ton of times before. But if you lose your primary internet for some reason, some bozo in construction cuts the line, or your ISP is just having problems, you can actually have this box stand up your network through the powerful Verizon network to make you immediately able to continue to conduct business when that happens. It'll trigger and just switch right over to that Verizon network, and you'll be able to rock and roll and transact, process credit cards, whatever, while you figure out what's going on with your ISP. So again, something else, it's built right into the box. And the last thing I'll mention is Verizon One Talk. If maybe you just watch this entire thing and your company hasn't actually migrated onto VoIP phones for your office yet, well, this thing was built as a perfect companion for Verizon One Talk. It adds to the feature set of that system, which already is a revolutionary new VoIP system that essentially allows you to have a mobile office in your pocket through an app on your phone that connects to your desk phone at your office. Everything is controlled through a web portal. It's super easy. It's brilliant. It's the wave of the future. So if you guys watched all this and you don't have a VoIP solution as well, that's all going to need to happen relatively soon at the same time. And this system could not be more custom made to be an add-on or ancillary system to Verizon One Talk. So we can talk about that. All right. So to review, all POTS lines must be replaced by August of 2022. If you're paying for them now, you're probably paying an extremely high amount of money. So we can transition you now with no upfront costs on equipment, cheaper monthly rates immediately, to something 100% compliant, even for life safety lines, on the world's best wireless network, future-proofs your business ahead of 5G, functions better and more efficiently than anything analog, and provides you a business continuity solution as well. I mean, guys, if I can't sell this, I think I need to get into a different business. So at this point, it's a little crazy to not at least call and talk about this, right? And get a quote, right? Please. Reach out to us. We're going to put all of our contact information over here. You can also reach out to your Verizon wireless representative who partners with us on this, and we can price it all out for you and put together a package that I think is going to be pretty impossible for you to turn down. So I appreciate you bearing with me through all this. I hope that you see what I see, that here's somebody trying to sell you something that actually saves you money and makes a whole lot of sense, and it's perfect. So let's move forward. Thank you guys very much for the time. That's POTS replacement.